Hi class, how are you today? If you thought you were going to be lectured by a cat, I'm sorry to disappoint you. While he may be better to look at, he's not going to tell you much. So, today we're going to get into the beat generation. And when I say beat, I don't mean this. When I say beat, I mean this. The members of this generation consisted of novelists, poets, and artists. They were very spiritual people, and they would often go on these quests, as you'll see in Kerouac's work, On the Road. He's traveling back and forth across the country, and he's searching for something. And I'm not going to spoil that for you now, because I want you to read the book, and we'll talk about what exactly he and his friends are looking for. They also experimented with different religions. A lot of them were Catholic, but they also practiced and were influenced by the Eastern religions as well. And you will see some of that in some other work that we will be looking at throughout this unit. So, what about their writing style? The writers of the Beat generation took a free approach to writing. They didn't want to conform to the standard structure of a narrative, the kind of thing that I'm teaching you how to do. They wanted to go off on their own path. Their work was unstructured, and they wanted to capture the immediacy of an experience. So, a good example of that is the book On the Road that we'll be reading. Once Kerouac came back from that trip, he stayed up for 3 days writing on this big scroll until it was all done. They also didn't really plan on doing revising. Now, when you're in my class, you're going to have to revise. And don't come to me and say, well, the beat writers didn't do it, so I'm not going to do it. It doesn't work that way. We will be revising, but we will be learning about people who didn't want to revise. Strange. So you're probably wondering what beat actually means. That's a good question. And a lot of professors and writers and historians are still talking about what exactly it means to be beat. And I'm not talking about beat in the sense of you beat somebody. But what you can do is think about all of the different senses of the word beat. You got heartbeat. You have, if you're writing, you take a beat. Back during that time, people were referred to as beatniks. You can think about if you're tired and you're beat down, you're beat, you've had enough. And these are all things to think about, and these are all things we're going to talk about. But one important thing I like to do, if I'm not quite sure of what something means, I like to go to the source. So, let's see what Mr. Kerouac has to say about the term beat and what it means.
How would you define the word beat? I don't mean why not time. I mean, really, is there...
sympathetic.
Sympathetic? All right.
Sympathetic. I wonder what he means by that. More importantly, I wonder what you mean by that. That's something to keep in mind as we read through the book, and something we'll discuss extensively, maybe not extensively, I don't know yet, in class. So keep reading, keep thinking about this term, keep thinking about sympathetic, keep thinking about everything I've talked about during this lecture, and I'll leave you with a little treat. If you really want to understand the beat writers and what they were about, I think it's important that you see them in action. So, let's roll the footage.
My cries have been torn onto miles of magnetic tape, an endless red tongue snaked round a big spool. I have been taken apart, dismantled, and dragged to interrogations. No, I've been back for months and all alive. No!
What I want is me, for real. I want me and myself, and what that is what I be and what I see and feel, and who is me and the what it is and who it is and when it me is what it be. I'm going to be here if I want, like I said, self-determination.
And I am waiting for Aphrodite to grow live arms at a final disarmament conference. And I am waiting for our iron comrades to attend in a new rebirth of wonder. And I am waiting for Voznesenski to answer. And I am waiting for Neruda to answer. And I am perpetually awaiting a rebirth of wonder.
Beware of those who say we are the beautiful losers, who stand in their long hair and wait to be punished, who weep on beaches for our isolation. We are not alone.
The evening star must be drooping and shedding her sparkler dims on the prairie, which is just before the coming of complete night that blesses the earth, darkens all the rivers, cups the peaks, and folds the final shore in. Nobody knows what's going to happen to anybody besides the forlorn rags of growing old. Think of Dean Moriarty, I even think of old Dean Moriarty, the father we never found. Think of Dean Moriarty, I think of Dean Moriarty.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and it inspires you to look into these writers a little bit more. So start reading the book and get ready for a discussion tomorrow. And if I'm going to make it to class, I better get on the road.